What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over everything you need to know about Fortnite's new Pull of the Force update in Star Wars Galactic Battle. As always, if you guys do find this video to be helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and comment down below what you think of today's update. So in today's update, we got 2 new Jedi abilities and 3 new Star Wars NPCs on the island. For the new Jedi abilities, we have Mace Windu, who will be teaching Force Pull. And then Darth Maul teaches Force Throw. The old Jedi abilities are still on the map. Nothing was changed or vaulted. And these new abilities you get in the same exact way you got the other ones. It just, depending on which icon and which NPC the portal is, will determine which force power you get. So if it's a purple Mace Windu portal, you're going to get his lightsaber and then the Force Pull ability. If it's a red Darth Maul portal, you will be getting the new Force Throw ability. Rey and Emperor Palpatine are still on the island teaching Force Push and the electric ability. And you can only get 1 ability per game. I'm not sure if it changes if you die and get rebooted, but if you get Force Pull, you can't go and get like Force Push from Rey. You're stuck with the one you get. So you may need to choose wisely if you do have a large preference for one Force ability over the other. As far as these new abilities go, I think Force Throw is the better of the 2 abilities. This is Darth Maul's ability, and what this does is it summons a bunch of rocks that you basically just launch at the enemy and then do a bunch of damage. And then anything nearby you that can be flung at them will be flung as well. So cars, for example, if you're next to a car when you use this Force Throw, you will throw the car at them and get some extra damage. But by default, you get the rocks. If there's anything else around there that you can fling into the enemy, that can potentially hit them for extra damage as well. This does a good amount of structure damage too. If you have somebody like hiding inside a building, in bushes, this can be good to go for. I don't really like using this though. I feel like you're rather vulnerable when going for it, and that is one of the bigger downsides of both of these new abilities, I think, is that you do leave yourself pretty vulnerable because of the animation time. When it comes to Force Pull, it's the opposite of Throw. You pull people towards you. And this is like a much better version of the Scorpion pull we had with that item last season. You don't need to be as precise with it. It works more like an area of effects. But at the same time, you're stuck in an animation while you're pulling someone to you who probably has their gun out and is already shooting at you by the time you're finally able to play. So I feel like very vulnerable going for this. And it's not really something that is that practical. I think of the Force abilities, Force Pull is probably my least favorite one. My favorite would probably be Force Push. But I just feel like in a lot of instances, you're making the fight harder for yourself than if you just played normally. And if you guys, played against the Scorpion item last season, you probably had a lot of times where somebody pulled you and then you just killed them because they pulled you, right? I feel like the Force Pull is going to be very similar to that. It can actually destroy some buildings, some smaller buildings and stuff, so like you're not going to level a whole building, but if you know what room somebody is in, you could maybe expose and pull them. If someone's a decent distance away from you though, it's not like you're going to like pull them across the map or stop somebody who's like shockwaving away from you if they are already a good ways away. So I feel like in most instances the Force Pull really isn't that practical, and if I was choosing my lightsaber based on the ability, then I wouldn't really go for this one. As I said, though, the old Jedi abilities are still on the map. If you have a preference for one, you just have to make sure, the portal you're going to is going to give you the ability that you actually want. You can tell by the color and the icon. So Mace Windu's is purple, Rey's is blue. Both Darth Maul and Emperor Palpatine are red, but they do have like a different icon on them that can help you tell them apart. The NPCs that were added in today's update are going to be Leia, Han Solo, and Luke. Each of these NPCs sells an ability and an item. So Leia is going to be outside Brutal Boxcars, and she sells an A280 blaster and storm reveal. Han Solo is going to be an Outpost Enclave, and he sells a Barm ST-12 scatter blaster and rift service, so you can pay to make a rift. Luke is south of the Resistance base, and he will sell a DL-44 blaster, which is going to be the pistol, and then Patch Up, which will heal you for your white health. And then the shotgun Han sells is the auto shotgun, if you guys don't know that by name. So Leia sells like the red dot AR of the season, Han Solo sells the auto shotgun, and then Luke sells the pistol. For these NPCs, you can buy their weapon regardless of faction alignment, but the extra ability like Storm Reveal, Rift Service, or Patch Up will require a certain faction alignment. So you need to do the quest and increase your alignment with the light side to be able to get the better ability from these NPCs. And then maybe the rarity of the weapon will increase as your faction alignment does too. I'm not 100% on that. For me, the NPCs were selling blue weapons, but I had people in my Twitch stream telling me it was selling gold for them. So I don't know if that's just, you know, Twitch chat being Twitch chat, or maybe if you get more faction alignment, it increases your rarity you are able to purchase from them. I could see it really being either way. Twitch chat always isn't always the best source when it comes to these sorts of things, but overall, these NPCs aren't incredibly impactful for me. I don't really care for the auto shotgun. The pistol is nice, but I prefer not to use it. And then the A280 is good, but if I'm at Brutal Boxcars, I probably had a chance to get the Mythic from the train. And then even then, it's not like getting a blue version of this AR really changes my game that much. Storm Reveal from her would be an interesting thing to purchase. You can buy and then see one zone in advance. And that would be good, but I just don't really think it's worth the gold when you consider the radio towers are a thing. And one of the radio tower spawns is right next to her. So you're probably just better off getting forecasts and then seeing zone reveal for the rest of the game for free than you are purchasing it from her one zone at a time. And that's basically it for this update. Of the updates for this season, this one seems like it's going to be the least significant. When Fortnite gave us the patch notes for the season, they told us what would be changing in each update. And this one I thought was kind of the smallest. If we didn't have lightsabers at all in the season from the get-go, and then they just showed up today with all the Force abilities at once, I think it would have been more impactful. But overall, not the biggest update. I did try taking an air sprite to a shrine today, and it still didn't give shockwaves, unfortunately. So that, you know, hasn't been changed or fixed as of the time I'm recording this, at least, and as of when I did it. Fortnite is Fortnite, though. Things can change at any time. That is going to be it for this video, though, and this update. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Would have liked to have gotten more shockwaves from him. Bro, they're both sitting on rooftops, I think. I feel bad for her. Like, her push just did nothing to me. For some reason.